Varkala to Idukki, with genuine sounds of India in the background. So I've planned this nice circular route that I wanted to do. So in anticipation, I took Emily down to the garage. She's had an oil change and everything else. She's been thoroughly checked over. I've got the waterproof stuff out. And this morning, loaded her all up, took her out the gate, and because it was drizzling, put on my waterproofs to begin the first leg up into the mountains of India. About 10 minutes out of Varkala, the rain stopped, so I stopped too, and I took off the waterproofs because it was a bit warm. Sun was coming up through the trees, driving through little villages with the most gorgeous frilly decorations. That was really cool. Sun was blazing by now as we crossed our first river. It really is super coming up at this time of year. The rains are still on and off, but more off than on, and the rivers are all beautifully full. So I warn you now, this is the first of many rivers. Also, the flowers up in the mountains are stunning. So many colours. A lot of the houses plant them outside. Sounds of India. Plant them outside, so they use them as offerings inside their houses. But as I said, the colours absolutely gorgeous, especially with the fresh rains that we'd had this morning. I mean, even the sort of dried grassy things in the background were so pretty. And these are my favourite. I've got these growing in my garden. The leaves, even the leaves are just beautiful, beautiful colours. I found this house had a great big eagle statue in its garden. That was pretty cool. Anyway, we entered more plants. We entered up and more rivers. We'll get there. Okay, collect my thoughts here. Big signs in people's gardens. I hadn't noticed how many big signs were in people's gardens until this trip. I mean, sometimes there are two. Sometimes there's a whole string of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this particular corner. Amazing. As I was about to try and say is we were now entering a rubber tree plant collecting area and pineapple. Found this beautiful pineapple plantation, so I stopped for a moment. And look, they all have baby pineapples in them. So cute. And here is Emily sitting, waiting patiently for me at the end of the driveway. And of course the resident dogs. More greenery there. So I entered the first of many little towns that I was going to go through. I can't even name them all, Chinny, whatever. But loads of lovely churches in this area too. This is the B86, I think. I can get that properly afterwards. Really, really beautiful churches. And I'm going through. And then I found some banana trees. And they were planted in such beautiful straight line with tapioca in between them. And they had these little bridges over the irrigation area. The house opposite had a whole array of elephants walking around their property. Very cool. More towns, more supermarkets. Picked up a bottle of water there and carried on going. Oh, this guy, he gave me a big thumbs up because he said I had to take his photograph. More churches, and as you can see, the sky is lovely, so the scarf has come off too. Now, I started this trip on 8010, so we're halfway through. Then I found this amazing stone building, carvery place. It's absolutely gorgeous. Stonemason's garden or something. I mean, they've got every animal under the sun made of concrete and stone. And they're beautiful. I mean, life-size, giant people-size woodpeckers. Anyway, it's called the Stone Art Garden, if anybody ever wants to come and find it. Past these two fruit sellers, aren't the displays absolutely beautiful? And then we found another river. So I stopped for ice cream at the little place that I've stopped loads of times. There's the bike in front of the pineapples and the big forest behind me. Waterproof panniers are still holding up really nicely. And look at that river. People down there washing their clothes and themselves. The sky was absolutely perfect for bike riding. Overcast enough that it wasn't too hot. This place, by the way, amazing views. I stopped to use their loo. Absolutely fabulous. This is why I come to India, to ride bikes up here. This waterfall is so cool. There were people actually washing and taking sacred baths, I presume, in the bottom of it. I have seen it fuller, I must admit, but it was still a lot of water coming down. And there's one guy who's actually sitting, you'll see him in a minute. He goes into a lotus position. See, there he is, just sitting there with the water pouring over him. Fabulous buses, by the way, came careering round this corner. How they don't kill anybody. I parked the bike up and had a really nice banana fry from this little place, St. George's Coffee and thing, another shiny bus. And then went to see the monkeys, because you go to see the monkeys. And then this guy started feeding the monkeys on the road, and I'm going, no. So then he started feeding them on the side. Anyway, clouds were beginning to gather a little bit in the distance, but unfortunately there is rubbish still all over the place in India. You get to beautiful viewpoints and then you look down and somebody's thrown the rubbish. So there's still flowers amongst the rubbish. And the viewpoints are lovely. Look at that tree. Isn't it beautiful? So I spotted all these cows, so I thought I'll stop and just take a photograph of them. And then I realised there was some sort of ceremony going on in the background there. So I got off my bike and this one had a little stroke. And then just not far around the corner, look at that waterfall. The clouds were getting really low by now, but I didn't care. Saw the sign coming up to Muna, I'm in the right direction. Beautiful flowers again. This was a cool little footbridge over a stream, and then we have more streams and rivers. This is why I love coming up at this time of year, because everything is so full of water. It's quite different when you come up in the dry season. This little house is right next to the river. A bit scary if it floods, but what a lovely view. Found a few more little churches and things. Oh, no more the red trees. And this was a rather modern looking house stuck in the middle of nowhere. So I've reached my single bed in a 10-bed dormitory, but they've upgraded me to a really nice bedroom. I have a very functional bathroom, all that I need. And just across the road is a hotel, not a hotel with beds, a hotel with food. And I'm at level with the palm trees. The views are lovely. That's where I thought I'd be staying, up there in the dormitories. Anyway, we're now on to 8,210. This is the building I'm staying in. It is an ashram. They do Ayurvedic training here, but it's also a tourist house, as the sign keeps telling you. The driveway is pretty steep. And they also have a pool, which is not that cold. Not that I'm going in. So I came up to the sitting area. Really nice place. This is where I'm recording this now with the genuine signs. This is my view. I've worked out my route for tomorrow. It's got another 5 hours tomorrow. The rain has arrived, or had arrived earlier on. Very dramatic rain. Yay. And then it stopped, because it always does. So I went down to the hotel to eat. Met these fabulous girls. They're all doing their Ayurvedic training here. And a little wave. They were really cool. And then I had amazing tomato fry, non-spicy, and parotas. As you can see, we went down a treat. Emily is parked up for the night, and there's some really nice shelter, so she's not going to get too wet. And the lights have come on because it's getting evening. Part 2 tomorrow, people, of my solo adventure into the hills. Love you all. Spread the love.